Welcome to Nerdgasm, everyone. Today we're going to be going over The Flash Season 3, Episode 15. And can I just say straight out the gate that the freaking Speed Force is a gangster? Oh my god. The Speed Force is just savage as can be. Oh, I love the Speed Force in this show. Like, the Speed Force has to be one of my favorite characters on this show. First, let's start off by talking about how freaking attentive Barry was in this episode. Does anybody else notice that Barry was, like, oddly more capable in this episode than all season long? The episode literally starts with him thinking at super speed. We've seen him read at super speed before, right? But how many times has Barry just stood there when he could have done something at super speed and then he just gets like slapped in the face, Gorilla Shield? And it's just ridiculous. Now we're seeing a Flash that's using Flash powers and he's thinking at super speed. Like they do this whole cool slow motion zoom shot around the room and we see everybody just like probably talking about stuff about what happened to Wally, and Barry's just thinking about what he has to do, and then he comes out of it and he's like, we need to go rescue Wally. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my god, who is this competent, confident young man with speedster-like powers? Oh my, who is that? The Flash? That has to be the Flash, because that's not the Flash I knew. Is that Barry Allen? Because I was like, is that Earth 5 Barry? Like, who is that? And something that was really awesome, and you classic comic book fans probably caught this, when H.R. Wells is talking about Wally being thrown into the Speed Force, he mentioned something called the Negative World, a reference to a Super Mario game, but you know what else it was a reference to, guys? It was a comic book Easter egg, and that is Earth 383. Earth 383 was actually a negative world, and if you were from a positive world, which I don't know what determines if it's a negative world or a positive world, that's just how it is. But if you were from a positive world, people who were on Earth 383 could not see you, they couldn't touch you, like they had no way of contacting you. There was zero chance anybody was gonna see you if you were from a positive world. And the crazy thing was that if someone on a positive world died, their counterpart on the negative world would actually become positive, and then they would end up trapped, never being able to be perceived by everyone of that world. Of course, that Earth is gone because thanks to Crisis on Infinite Earths, everything's been reset. Because, you know, Earth 383 is from, like, 1969. Alright, so we get Barry, who goes into the Speed Force to go save Wally, and boom, 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 who's the first person he sees? Eddie Thawne. Guys, Eddie Thawne is back, and Eddie Thawne was laying on the feels real hard, guys. Eddie Thawne was just killing it with the feels, talking about how I should have married Iris, or Eddie Thawne should have married Iris, because it was the Speed Force as a manifestation of Eddie Thawne. Just, you know, that's how they were coming to Barry. And it was a pretty good way to come to Barry, because they were trying to teach him a lot of lessons, and at the same time letting them know that, you know, we're not your friends this time because you fucked shit up with Flashpoint. You know, you went and you were like, let me just stick my dick in the timeline multiple times. And the Speed Force was like, did you think we didn't see you do any of that? We saw everything you did, Barry. I don't know how you Instagrammed it, man. We've seen the memes. They know what Barry did. But we see the Speed Force over here basically telling Barry that if you want Wally, you're gonna have to do it yourself. We're not gonna help you. We're not your BFFs anymore. And they're like, if you want to go save Wally, you can go right through those doors. And what do we get? We get a time wraith. And now, here's what's crazy. I'm thinking, how is Barry going to get away from this time wraith when all he did in season 2 was run away from it? Barry, again, this competent, confident, speedster person who I cannot believe is our Earth 1 Barry, runs around the precinct, and when the wraith shows up out of the floor, phases through a wraith. He was like, psych, see you later. I'm the Flash. I can do anything. And I'm like, hold on, no. I was like, no, that's not okay. Shut up. Reverse that. Hold on, Barry. Right here, you should have died. Because if anything from season 1 and season 2 and this entire season shows any, like, if that Wraith would have had a shield, then that would have been a totally different story. Like, he never would have made it through, and Barry would have just been flattened right then and there. But, oh well, Barry's competent now, so phases through a time wraith. This needs to be the Barry we see the rest of the season. Do you hear me, CW? This is the Barry Allen that we want. We get another blast from the past, and we get to see Ronnie Raymond, and Ronnie Raymond's there giving the feels to Barry, making him be like, hey, this should have been my wife. Hey, that should have been my baby. Somehow, Barry knows that it's a little girl, even though he didn't see if it was a little girl. Apparently that's the power of the speedsters, is to know the gender of a baby. And again, Barry feeling the feels, and he's like, oh, it was, I mean, that one actually wasn't his fault. That's what's crazy, right? Like, Eddie could have gotten a vasectomy and not had to shoot himself in the heart. But Ronnie actually died as a hero because it was a singularity, and that one was a lot more the Reverse Flash's fault than Barry's fault. But again, what is this competent speedster? They summon the Black Flash, and Barry runs from the Black Flash, and he's fighting in like Star Fox barrel roll 360-degree combat just around that hallway, and he's punching the reverse. I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on, you couldn't stop Zoom or the Reverse Flash but you can stop this guy. You can't stop Savitar, but you can stop this guy. This is the Flash we need for the rest of the season. Do you understand me? This is the Flash we need. And since we're on the fact of Black Flash, oh my god, guys, the fucking Black Flash. Like, that's awesome. We get to see the Black Flash in the Flash. Like, we saw him on Legends of Tomorrow, if you watch Legends of Tomorrow, and now we get to see him as the Speed Force little attack dog. And here he is coming after Barry. The Speed Force is not friends with Barry, and clearly this shows it right now. The Black Flash coming to kick his butt. And wasn't it weird that he was like, oh dang, Hunter Zolomon. Again, a competent Flash. The second he saw the Black Flash, Hunter Zolomon. He knew it. He knew it. He wasn't like, Cisco, what is this? Ah, you know, he was like, Hunter's out. Like, he knew what it was. Barry, why haven't you been this smart? Hurry up and create Gideon, dang. But it was really cool to see the Black Flash come back. And if you guys don't know about the Black Flash, there is a video about it. You guys can check that out. I explain all the stuff about the Black Flash and how he's basically the Grim Reaper of speedsters because normal death is too slow to catch speedsters. Okay, so we make it to the next level of the Speed Force where Barry finally finds Wally and we get to see Leonard Snart. Leonard Snart makes a comeback on the Flash. He's gonna make a comeback on DC's Legends of Tomorrow, but it was cool to see him on the Flash again as a Speed Force manifestation. The Speed Force is just using Leonard Snart to talk to Barry, but they used that cold gun on him, man, and that was great. And then they said that, you know, Barry needs to hurry up and be the hero and start doing things by himself. He needs to start saving people and doing it without putting other people in harm's way. And Leonard Snart says that it was the Flash that inspired Snart to sacrifice himself on Legends of Tomorrow, which was beautiful for me because I think he's coming back as a bad guy on Legends of Tomorrow, and or maybe like a twisted bad guy, maybe it has something to do with the spear. It was beautiful to see the Speed Force say that Leonard Snart sacrificed himself because Barry was a hero. I loved that. Another great moment to happen. Jay Garrick shows up, saves Barry from the Speed Force, and they drop more like of these beautiful little Easter eggs with Jay Garrick. And the Speed Force tells him, getting a little slow in your golden age, which is hilariously beautiful because Jay Garrick is known as the Golden Age Flash, because when he was the Flash, it was the Golden Age of comics. So they rescue Wally, and what happens? A speedster has to stay, and it's Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick has to stay. Jay gives Barry his helmet and says, Cisco will track you through my helmet. This isn't exactly an Easter egg or a little homage to the comics. I just thought this was beautiful because I keep up with the Flash comics, and if you've kept up with the Flash comics, you can see the similarity right here. Right now, Jay is going to be trapped in the Speed Force prison until Barry can rescue him and replace Jay with Savitar. And then Jay gives Barry his helmet, which obviously Barry's going to have to hold on to so that they can rescue Jay. What I loved about this was that in the new Flash Rebirth comic, something happens and Barry Allen is like struck with all these visions because of him almost being absorbed back into the Speed Force. And when he comes out of the visions, he tells everyone that he feels like something's missing and that he saw something while he was having the visions that he didn't recognize. And the thing he saw was Jay Garrick's helmet. And now if you don't know, after they did the New 52 and the Rebirth because of Flashpoint, they didn't bring everybody back all at once. The original redhead Wally West didn't come back until recently. He was trapped in the Speed Force. They replaced him with the new black, younger Wally West. So it's recently been revealed that Jay Garrick is making a comeback in the comic books, and most likely he's been trapped in the Speed Force. So Barry in the comics having those Speed Force visions of the helmet, and then them talking about bringing Jay Garrick back, like, and he's gonna look good. Like, look at this picture right here. He's looking good. He's looking freaking refreshed as shit. It's just really cool to see that. It's not an Easter egg, like I said. I just thought it was cool because in the show right now he's about to be trapped in the Speed Force. In the comic books, he's most likely trapped in the Speed Force, and they're gonna have to rescue him somehow. So it was just cool that they're both right now sort of in a similar situation. Whether they did it on purpose, I don't know, but that would be great if they did. One of the last things I'm going to talk about before we check out the promo, guys, is Jessie Quick. Obviously, she's going through a lot of stuff. She wants to go ahead and kill Savitar because she trapped her honey bear up in the Speed Force. Jessie Thick's not thinking right. She's like really messed up in the head, and she takes the piece of Savitar's armor and she goes after Savitar. Obviously, no match for Savitar. Nobody else is in the Cortex except for HR. And what's the genius idea that they come up with? I had a problem with this. What's the genius idea they come up with for Jessie to stop Savitar? Maybe you could stab him. Oh my God, what? Maybe you could stab him, Jessie. And she's like, oh my God, it's such a good, and she stabs him, and I'm just like, you serious? Are you serious? That's the idea we were all missing, was maybe we could stab him. It's not even like they used his armor to pierce his armor. HR clearly says, hey Jessie, look for a place that's not covered by armor. And she goes for like the weird little thin pieces that are like shooting blue light out of it. Like, hey, that, you know, if light's getting through there, then clearly it has to be thin enough for me to stab this piece of his armor through it. That's the genius idea that they were coming up with at Star Labs. I mean, I know it's HR, he's not a genius, but it was all HR. Great idea. Love that. $1 million idea. Oh my God. And the last thing I'm gonna mention before we go in and we check out this promo is, does anybody else know that HR may not be a genius, but HR definitely has a fucking doctorate in throwing shade? Because did anyone else see, like, oh, we just gotta wait for the real Flash to come back? And I was like, oh my god, he just said that. That was hilarious, and I loved every second of it. All right, guys, let's check out that promo for episode 17.
What the hell is going on?
You're in a movie musical.
How do we get out of here?
Just follow
To the yellow brick road?
No, what's wrong with you? No, the script. Follow the script.
Gather the boys, we're going to war.
Reach the end of the plot, you get to go home.
Stick to the script.
Although I should mention, if you die in here, you die out there.
I miss being bulletproof.
It's a special musical episode of The Flash.
All right, so if you guys don't know, the villain in this promo is the Music Meister. The Music Meister has a way to control people through a hypnotic way using music. But what it seems like in this episode is that they're not actually in the real world and he's controlling them through his music. It seems more like it's going on in someone's dream. Some of the legends are going to be there, some of the Legion. It's really weird. But it's a musical episode and 3 people from the cast of Glee are going to be there. To be honest, there's not a lot to tell from this promo. It's going to be a musical episode. So if you like musical episodes and you like Glee, then check this episode out. It's just, I'm probably just going to watch it just for the fact that it's Music Meister. They're bringing Music Meister, which was a character created for the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon. It's not even someone from the comics. It was created for a cartoon on Cartoon Network, just for them to have somebody interesting, you know, to like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that's all. It was just for a funny musical episode, and they were like, hey, let's scoop that guy out of the freaking cartoon world and let's throw him into the live action world. Really, there's nothing to talk about and nothing to say except just enjoy it. I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you're new, think about sticking around. If you're not new, then thank you guys for being here and watching these videos. Oh my god, you're supportive as can be, and I love it. Thank you for taking a chance on the channel. Before I go, I just want to ask you guys this one question. What do you think Savitar saw while he was in the prison? Personally, I think that he was stuck as a big belly drive-thru worker, and everybody from the Flash team just kept running through the drive-thru asking for the same thing and saying he got the order wrong. I think that would be hilarious. That's just my theory, guys. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.